They need
one of
more
my
of that
favorite,
in the world now.
one of my favorite quotes ever that Dorian ever said was when he was getting ready for this show. He said when he won the Night of Champions and he was like, okay, now I'm going to the Olympia. And he's like, now I'm facing off against my hero.
Yeah. Wow.
That I had to shift my mind because my mindset had been that he was he was 7-time Mr. Olympia Lee Haney. And I had to think, no, he's got 2 arms, 2 legs, just like me. And there's no way he trains harder.
I didn't really know some. Oh, look at this
So
hair.
I love this ESPN coverage. This was like this really crazy era in bodybuilding where we were seeing this like semi-mainstream coverage of the Mr. Olympia. Yeah. And remember there was like that pump workout show with Boyer Coe and Sean Ray.
Oh yeah.
It was on like USA Muscle and it would show on ESPN. It was just the craziest time. Twin Lab and Weider.
I like that logo too.
That old school
Weider
logo.
That old school Weider logo.
Yeah. Let's see if I can skip forward a little bit here.
Yeah, and I remember like, you know, we at the time we all thought like, oh, bodybuilding is like, you know, it's going mainstream. We made it. Like it's just gonna keep getting bigger and bigger. And then, you know, I mean, look how Librado weighs 185 here.
Yeah.
So like and the public was still so relatively ignorant to the whole steroid thing.
Oh yeah, they probably didn't think these guys were even using them.
Well, there was a lot of chat about that because we were 4 years past Ben Johnson at this point, and they were like,
when Ben Johnson was using them, then
yeah, we were.
This guy.
But I don't think Lee LeBron is as fast as Ben Johnson, so I think we're fine.
No, but I mean the public was like, you know, the public was all over the conversation, right?
Yeah,
right. And steroids were like, you know, people would see this, you know, back in 91, people would be like, those guys taking steroids. I heard those guys taking steroids. It was that kind of a chat, you know?
Yeah. Right.
But then a lot of people would say, oh, well, no, Lee's only 185. He's not on him. You know, like there was that pro wrestling side of it too, where they were just, everyone was just lying.
Right. Yeah.
I remember I was at a seminar. Lee Labrada was the first pro I ever saw. So it would have been like 1990. I've told this story. And he showed up and did the seminar. But anyways, someone asked him about drugs and he just said, hey, is anyone recording this? And the one woman said, I'm recording it. And he goes, do you mind turning the recorder off? She goes, no, I don't mind. It's like, so she just like turned it off.
No
and then
kidding.
he used steroids and he talked about his cycles a little bit.
Yeah.
And,
that's awesome.
And that was back in 1990. I was like 14 years old.
Right.
This is Ron Love. He still trains people up at Detroit Powerhouse in Michigan.
Yeah.
Highland Park Powerhouse. He's still
When's
there.
the last time you saw him?
A couple of weeks ago.
Oh, really?
A month ago, maybe something like that. Yeah. When Dre and I were up there shooting video, he's there because he's there every day.
Humble brag.
Yeah.
When Jay and
Didn't he get shot at one point?
Yeah. He was a Detroit police officer and he got shot and then he retired and got into bodybuilding full time then from there. But back in that day, like Highland Park Powerhouse, you had all, like the police trained there, but then all the criminals trained there too. They were like, it was a rough place. I've known so many people that have told me stories about getting in fights at that gym and guys who told me they're like, listen, that was a gym you didn't take your girlfriend because if you did, somebody was going to try to steal her from you and you're going to have to get in a fist fight. Like guaranteed. You just don't bring a girl in that place.
That's amazing.
So he's 216 here.
Look at that. That's when it's the beginning of the glute era right there.
Yeah, well, Rich is the guy, right? If you watch the 88 Olympia, you see like, you know, Rich's early ripped glutes ahead of everyone else kind of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you can tell also if you go back like just a few years behind this, like 88, 89, guys had ripped glutes, but
the guy's getting himself up.
Guys had ripped glutes, but they didn't think to show them.
Right.
Like they would do the back double bicep and not even flex them, and no one criticized it. It wasn't even a thing anyone cared about. And the trunks were just a little wider cut, and it was just different.
What happened between then and now? Because at this point so far, literally everybody has like a perfectly choreographed routine. I mean, I know there's still some good guys that do routines nowadays, but like here, you can see that everybody was like on their game. Like the routine was a big part of what they did.
Yeah. Well, I remember there used to be a big, like people used to say, like you have to have a good posing routine because, you know, people are going to see this on TV.
Yeah.
Valid.
And also they judged the posing round, and I know they judge it like, how do you show yourself? It's not really who has the best routine, but they were judging the posing round in a way like sort of like that. There was kind of this
Artistically.
yeah, there was like a more subjective level of judging to the routine. You at least had to try. Like I remember judges would be like, "Oh yeah, I mean you got to put effort in. Like, you know, we don't want to
He's
see
all over
nothing,
the place.
you know."
I have to enjoy the one thing I was catching during Rich's routine. I think on your question, Scott, is guys really do their best now to not show their physique in a way that's not good for them.
Okay.
Where if you really watched Rich's routine just a couple of slides ago, like there were plenty of shots where I'm like, your arms look small there. This looks weak there.
But you traditionally hit those shots.
Yeah.
And it was more about, is the pose
those.
artsy, and does it pose, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It wasn't as concerning to just to make sure that you only looked good. Wow.
So yeah, Terry Pastel was awesome. He's a French bodybuilder.
Holy
abs
crap,
on him.
his waist.
So one thing about
good.
the 91-0, one thing about this particular year with Haney and then Yates coming second, is it ended the guys like Bob Paris that we just saw.
Right.
They were there that year, and they saw Haney, who went up a level.
Yeah.
Like it was Haney's all-time best, like by far.
Yeah.
And then they saw Dorian there, and they were like, it is over for the 80s guys. We're done.
I'm going to be honest. I don't even know this guy.
Terry Pastel?
Yeah, I don't know him, but he is a freak. He isn't he is a beautiful physique.
He's fantastic. He's from France. Well, he was French speaking, I think. I'm not sure if he was. I think he was from France.
Yeah, those like the shoulder to waist to quad. Yeah,
the calves on him.
Calves.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's incredible. That to me is when you look and you go, that is bodybuilding to me, which I could never do. Amazing.
Yeah.
Sonny Schmidt. Oh, look how big he is back then. 245.
Awesome. Yeah, he was big, man. The Samoan.
Oh, yeah.
Big legs.
The shape is just incredible here.
He's not hitting his glutes. Do you notice that? I mean, he is now.
He is now, yeah, but they weren't a priority as much.
Yeah,
you know
that's
I mean?
that's to your point. You had mentioned that. Yeah.
Bam, shredded. Look how drawn his face is.
Oh yeah.
Like these guys are pulling down. I know we don't want to sound like 90s conditioning, but it was just a different way of doing things. They didn't care if they lost 10 pounds of muscle is all I'm saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It was like, fuck it. Just ride it to the end of the shreds, you know? Everyone telling them they're ready at 240 and they're like, I'm going to 230.
I feel like this haircut is coming back.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
The Magnum PI mustache.
Mustache. Exactly.
The stash is phenomenal.
So, in 1997, I was in a nightclub with Sonny Schmidt because we went out. We were at the Nationals, the Australian Nationals, watching the show.
Yeah.
And my friend John won, and we were hanging out. And then John just wanted to eat and go, back to the hotel with his girlfriend and everything. And then everyone else was like, well, Ronnie, you got to come out with us. And I was like, sure, man, I'll go with the Aussie bodybuilders. And Sonny Schmidt was with us.
Okay.
And everyone was kind of saying like, oh, Sonny's going to be there. He's going to hang out with us. Like, so I was kind of excited, and Sonny'd been top 5 at the Olympia by this point. And, Sonny was a pretty quiet guy, but he was like, cool. He was just chilling and hanging out. And we go to a nightclub and we're at this like real techno nightclub. They're playing like dance music, real loud. Like it was the 90s, right? Everyone's on E, like half the people around us are Eing out. And I'm standing with my water bottle and Sonny goes, hey bro, smoke a joint? And I went, yeah. And I thought he meant like, we're going to go for a walk, right?
Yeah.
We're going to go he just pulls it out in the fucking club.
No kidding.
Pulls out a big fat joint, fucking burns it, like rolls it, turns it, gets it hot, fires it up. Fucking sucks on this, pass it to me. I'm like looking around, like it's like, and it's not legal at all.
Yeah.
And I'm like expecting us to get booted out of this club, but he's like, don't worry about it.
Yeah, yeah.
And we smoked this, passed around the table like 3 times. No one came and said a word to us. People were looking at us like other people were like, you guys smoking a joint? And Sonny
Right
was-
here.
Sonny didn't give a shit. It's like because he kind of knew the door guys, or they knew it was Sonny Schmidt or whatever. So they just let us smoke this. It was hilarious to me. I was like,
amazing.
21 years old or whatever. So I was like, whoa, we're just getting away with murder.
I'm gonna need so many sound bites from Ron on this day.
And I remember the thing that I thought was funny was that Sonny Schmidt was wearing cowboy boots.
Funnier than smoking a joint in the middle of the bar.
Well, I didn't expect Sonny to have cowboy boots on, but he had on like cowboy boots. I just thought it was like, oh, that's fucking funny. I just didn't expect it.
What is this? Is this like a little
Little
We'll work on it.
Francis Benefato.
Oh, this is like they're showing a little training, little
Yeah.
segment in between something here. Look at that bicep.
And it's like, look at the
sounds
90s, like
terrible.
just overdoing the graphic editing.
oh yeah.
It's everywhere. More is better.
Yeah.
I don't even know what
More
to look
colors.
at. There's too much shit.
Need some
going
purple.
on. I'm gonna need more cowbell.
We won't be able to see everybody here. We'll have to skip through some of this. But
Let's get to the two we're all looking for here.
all
Let's
right.
get to the mass.
We got Sean Ray.
Let's get to the
Sean
beginning
Ray's
of the
there,
end.
yeah. Is
The
this Sean
beginning
up
of the
here?
end for the 80s. Oh yeah,
There's Sean.
Like
High top Sean.
yeah.
High
Like
intent.
some of
That's
the-
nice. Look at
Like
that.
look at that physique. It is craziest physique back then.
Yeah.
I always
Yeah, he
loved
looked
that
really
pose.
good.
That pose, that one with the hand over the head. I always thought that was
Yeah.
just the sickest shot.
That's one of those
I had,
shots
like-
that people do that they that shouldn't do it on the regular.
Yeah, because they can't do
Sure.
it.
Sure.
I had a like a fold out of a magazine of Sean Ray doing that shot with the flat top. I had that like hanging on my wall.
yeah.
He's already doing the Terminator.
This is the Terminator. So this KLF, you know that song?
Yeah.
And then he had all the other stuff edited in. And no one had ever seen anything like this. So this was the first time anyone saw Vince do the Terminator. He kind of kept doing it through his career,
Yeah.
but this was the debut of the Terminator. And he had previously been a classical poser, like
Okay.
symphony music or Mariah Carey and stuff like that. So he came out to this thing and did the Terminator, and people just lost their minds.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
it
yeah.
transformed posing. All of a sudden, every single local show, somebody was trying to do like the robot, and then everyone was. It was just crazy.
oh yeah. It became a thing.
Yeah, and this was Robbie. He would have been like 40 by this point, wasn't he?
Yeah, that's what I was
Yeah.
thinking, man. He'd been around forever. His face, look at his
Did it-
cheekbones in that too. And that.
Did it show his age on the screen? I missed it.
Let me see here.
I was busy talking.
Let me see if I can find that spot. Did it show
Sure.
his
It had to because everybody else they showed it.
yeah.
Let it go right here.
Well, how old's Robbie?
Nope,
now?
they go right to him. They didn't.
Oh, there we go.
45.
45. 220 at
Oh,
5'7".
I suck at life.
Yeah. Oh wait, check this out. I'm gonna scroll up here. This looks to me like a Cybergenics ad.
Oh man,
That
No way it
Cybergenics
is.
the first true
gotta
and
be.
potent
is
alternative
that Franco
to steroids.
Santoriello?
In 60 days, you can
Yes,
burn 20
it is.
pounds of muscle.
Franco.
Get it.
I wonder what would happen if we called that number right now.
There it is.
It probably still has a voicemail.
Yeah, exactly.
Hold on. 543
Cybergenics.
6200. Let me write that down. 543.
You're still hoping to get huge?
6200. Let's find out. Let's find out.
find
Oh, we're
out.
doing it now. We're doing it
Yeah.
Oh,
now.
I love it.
Oh yeah. Let's see.
You got to
here.
know. Look what's happened to these guys. They're morphing for $139.95.
$139. Oh, that's awesome.
6200.
I don't know
All
if I
right,
have one
let's
of
see
those
what
old school
happens.
visas.
You know, I'm going to look up Cybergenics and see what was even in it. I don't even remember.
Oh,
I think the
no.
one had like,
It's busy. Somebody else is ordering right now, I guess.
That's
Everyone
so
else
funny.
is ordering right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nimrod King.
He's Canadian.
What
huh?
a freak. Yeah,
Yeah?
he just came and went quick. He showed up. He was huge.
Yeah.
He did really well, and then he just kind of stopped competing. I don't know what happened.
We need to get him on the show and find out.
I think he's still in Toronto. I think he's still
Yeah?
around.
Look at the size of him.
He
I
has
can't
huge
get
arms.
past the arms. Like, what?
All right. I'm going to skip just a couple seconds ahead here. Here's
right there.
Dorian. Here we go. So this is Dorian's first Olympia here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
debuting at the O, 29 years old.
Man, all that hair. Look at that.
That mullet.
Yeah.
The curly
And he
mullet.
Yeah, that's a
Debuted
look.
with the condition, and
I wonder if he's going to bring it back now that mullets are cool again.
look at the hair.
Yeah.
Dude, that's just bonkers.
Shredded.
The posing's like flawless every shot.
I see. I copied that. I used to always do that. The lat spread to go down and then come up and do the lat spread. Like I would just mimic Dorian. I was such a huge fan. I mean, I would have been like 15, 16, 17 when he was winning the first couple of O's. Just crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
You know?
It's insane. I love the effortlessness that he's hitting the lat spread that looks like that.
It's funny because we were all talking through all the other guys, and then Dorian came on, and we just all got quiet. We could just stop.
It's like a really like good musician. You need to shut up and listen, right?
Yeah.
and now this was definitely peak Haney. Like Haney, man, you got to hand it to him. He won 8 Olympias. He went out on top and at his very best and healthy.
Oh yeah.
He didn't retire with an injury or a bad knee or a small arm or anything like that.
248 at 34, 5'11".
And flawless.
Boom. Totally awesome.
Yeah, you can see that Dorian wasn't ready quite yet here.
Not quite big enough to beat Lee Haney, but you know, he had all the tools.
Yeah.
But Lee was gnarly here. Like he is dry as shit. And
That back.
especially for 1991,
That
like,
back.
it was
That
a level
back.
up in 91. He had huge lats.
Yeah.
And no waist.
Yeah, the waist ratio just crazy. Remember that shot of him in the jeans standing on the street in New York by the
Oh yeah.
lat spread? That's such a great classic shot. Yeah, Lee was just such a freak back then.
I think it was so interesting how they used to pose essentially in one spot.
Yeah.
You know, the whole routine took place in like 6 feet of the stage.
Like,
That
what
shot,
a
dude.
shot.
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah. Rah. You know, like, Lee was awesome.
Yeah, he really was.
8 Olympias. I remember, I don't know what year it was, but they brought Lee Haney out on stage with like 2010 or something.
Yeah.
Give him some sort of lifetime award. And I
Uh-huh.
remember he didn't get a standing ovation, and it just like pissed me off. Like I remember I just like stood up for him. I was like, fucking Lee Haney's 8 times
Did you?
Mr. Olympia.
Yeah.
And I looked around and like people weren't standing. I was like, pissed me
Genesis.
Twin lab.
you know?
Insanity.
All right.
Yeah. So this was the top 5. Yeah. So, or 6.
Okay.
Sonny made it. That was, Sonny had broken in by then. Sean and Lee and Vince in there.
It said this was in Orlando.
Yep. Orlando. That's my buddy was there. My buddy Eric. I talked
Okay.
about that photo we had with Dorian with the hair last
Yep.
episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was here. Yeah. So it's funny that it's back in Orlando this year. So we're going to go back, you know, where this was.
Yeah. Celebrate the reunion.
Yes.
It's insane. I could watch that. Now I got to watch this whole thing because I've actually never watched this show beginning to end. I think you definitely understate this era because of the next one, you know?
It's funny how they all hit their back shot in like order there. That was a camera panned. It was funny.
Yeah.
They were all reaching up like as a camera panned. Dorian's just waiting for the lat spread. So I gotta I've had a picture of you on my wall. Yeah.
Here we go. Just straight on. You know, just leave the camera right there, guys, for the rest of the show. Man.
Yeah.
Do they need
One of
more
my
of that
favorite,
in the world now?
one of my favorite quotes ever that Dorian ever said was when he was getting ready for this show. He said when he won the Night of Champions and he was like, okay, now I'm going to the Olympia. And he's like, now I'm facing off against my hero.
Yeah.
He
Wow.
said I had to shift my mind because my mindset had been that he was he was 7-time Mr. Olympia Lee Haney. And I had to think, no. He's got 2 arms,
man.
2 legs,
Hmm.
just like me, and there's no way he trains harder.
I love the fact that that is absolutely accurate. You know, usually you're like, a lot of people say things like that.
Yeah.
That was true. I don't know if anyone trained the way that he
Dorian said it gave him confidence. He was like, it's just a guy. And he
can't
no
be doing
way
what
he
I'm
trains
doing.
harder than I do. He's
Yeah.
not doing what I do. Yeah, it was cool. So,
Very.
you know, and went there and almost took him out. He won the muscularity round, if you don't remember. He actually beat, they used to have symmetry, muscularity, and the finals round, right?
Yep.
And Dorian actually won the muscularity round. No one had ever beaten Haney in the muscularity round, which
No
is
kidding.
the old way that they did it was the symmetry round was the quarter turns.
Yeah.
And the muscularity round was the 7 mandatories.
Okay.
Yep.
So, yeah, crazy.
I always wonder if back then, if part of the reason to end was also the realization that someone was coming up that hot. Because a year from then, you wonder if Dorian could have overcome him or not. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. In 93 when Dorian showed up. Yeah. So, yeah, hell of an era, man. Look at Sean Ray there. He's just perfect back then.
Yeah, he was.
Like the most muscular was just so like just trophy. The crazy back double. Look at that. Just crazy
the waist
back
is so
double.
tiny coming off that lats.
Yeah.
I feel like Sean is one of the few guys that I really feel absolutely maximized his physique to the highest level possible. Like there was nothing else to do.
Yeah.
Except take a lot more drugs.
Yeah.
and get taller. That would
But if you took that genetic bundle of him now and put him now, like juice the crap out of him, I wonder what he'd look like.
Doing all the things that people do
It's
now.
like I've talked to Sean about stuff, and like I believe what he tells me when it comes to that stuff because he's just like literally like has such a recollection. He's like, no, we did this and I did this and this, and then I would always do this and this, and I was like, oh, okay, I have no reason to not believe you. And it was like, you know, it's
Is
like
it just
doing the Olympia on like Winstraw and
Is it just me or is this pose down a lot longer than the pose downs are now?
Yeah, they're just rolling with it.
Yeah, because it's still going. I feel like this is like 5 minutes plus of
and not a single guy has broken a sweat yet.
Right.
Yeah, that's funny. You know, it's I wonder if we had the volume up, like is the crowd just pumping? Like maybe they just old school crowds. Like I remember, you know, people used to get so loud at shows. I mean,
yeah, you could hear them. There's roars happening. The sound isn't right on this, but it keeps cutting in and out. But we don't need it to see exactly what we have going on here. All right, so this is the announcements. Let's see if I can turn this up for this.
It's been a long event. We're about to find
Sounds
out
terrible.
6th, 5th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, and 1st.
I don't mind.
Sonny
Crank it.
just
That's how it was back then.
Yeah.
The sound was.
It's a tough position to be in. It's the only way you look at it. Sonny's from Australia.
Oh, David Paul, the Barbarian Brothers.
Oh, love it.
He's out there. Is that Peter or David? It's one of them.
So who's going to finish 5th? There's Sonny. He receives his award. You know, the prize money here, these competitors are going to share over $250,000 worth of prize money.
That's so wild.
That's up
Now
to
the winner gets more than that.
$1,000 in the first years of Mr. O. All right, in 5th place. We're talking about the money
Sean
right
Ray.
now. Who's
For Lee
getting the
Labrada?
next check?
Sean Ray.
And they're gonna
I believe Sean
announce
fell to
the,
5th that year.
award
Yeah.
and the 5th place finisher in just a moment. Boy, how times have changed. Actually, Sean Ray.
Sean Ray, huh?
Yeah, he
I
came in a
didn't
few
like
pounds
that.
heavier. He came in at like 207, I remember, and he was trying to be
Sean
bigger.
Ray's gonna
Yeah.
have to rethink his
And
strategy
then he
as
like wound up
finishes
falling from
5th.
3rd to 5th.
After a string of high finishing over the
Still
last
looked awesome
few
though.
years,
I mean, whatever.
I like that 5th place. He said after a string of high finishing, like 5th is so bad.
Yeah.
Because he was second. He was even second, right?
I'm sure he's happy with
That's how much. I mean, you'd have to see what he looked like when he was a little lighter. Because I mean, I look at that, I'm like, I don't see anything. I don't see anything missing.
just-
Oops. I hit a
And then
button
the-
there.
Don't be hitting buttons.
There you go.
Lee.
Lee Labrada, fourth.
It's crazy to think that his son is at the O now. Like it's
It
just,
really
you know,
is.
It's
Right.
like when a dad has a kid who plays in the, like they both play in the NFL. I'm just like, what are the odds of that?
Yeah.
It's gonna be such a genetic bundle passed on. Plus, they gotta want to do it. Like they
Yeah.
gotta like it too. Like, it's just such a rare thing.
A great physique.
He knows what to do with it.
And now we're down to the big guy.
He was a class act on stage, man.
Dorian Yates.
And then this was the best Vince ever did.
Haney.
This was the best he ever did. He looked sick too.
That was unbelievable. Yeah.
He was just a little light in the legs.
I can see
You know
that.
what I mean? Just a little bit.
I like that he already he knows though. You could tell by the demeanor that he's waiting to hear his name.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this has come a long way. What a glamorous event we have going here in Orlando.
It's funny.
It's Taylor,
They're just
Haney,
probably
and
saying
Yates
like a
from
bunch
left
of,
to right.
what are they just doing? A bunch of corporate sponsorship stuff between each placing?
Third.
Well, they've been dragging out shows for years, just like they do
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
We liked him, and you liked him early on as well.
It's funny.
Just doesn't have the height or the size. Beat the other two.
But he has the heart, and I'll tell you what.
Look back then. No hot girls on stage. It's all men in suits. It's all the corporate douchebag guys from the companies and the blah 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 that want stage time. They
Yeah.
all want to go out there and be cool. But now people are like, send hot chicks out.
That's one part of our era that's better.
Lee Haney, 7-time Mr. Olympia, and Dorian Yates in his very first Mr. O. Lee Haney trying to
Dorian
break
is
Partlow
calm
world
as a
record.
bomb.
Yeah.
Looked over at him.
I mean, he really size wise matches with him.
Haney's just a little bigger in the chest.
Oh yeah.
Everything's just
But,
round
you know,
too.
leg-wise, Dorian's legs might actually even be a bit
If
bigger.
it's a toss-up, the champion usually ends up retaining
Crazy
the
loss in quality though, like you know, like from the
Yeah,
it
some of
go
them
Oh,
really
yeah.
look like.
upload.
Yeah.
Dorian just looks like a bad tan
Yeah.
with a bad bleach hairdo and a bad tan. It's just funny.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's like the
Chris
color
used
of
to say that
Trump.
about these shows, though. Like, when I asked him about Dorian's last win, and I said, I think Nasser had a shot, and he literally said, you weren't there.
Yeah, you weren't there.
Like, so the pictures and the videos do not do justice for anyone who's confused.
29 years old, and it
There
is
we go.
number 2.
There we go.
He did it again.
Is the
He's like, I'm out of here.
Where's the
Where's that
first girl?
$100,000 check?
Yeah.
Oh, when is it ever gonna end?
Yeah, man, that was awesome. I'm really glad I caught the end of that era, that Lee Haney era, of like the crazy commercials and the weird ads and
Yeah.
just like all that leftover 80s stuff. You know,
I got his
Right.
poster up in my gym. He's one of the posters I have. When I was a kid, I remember my dad's friends, we watched like Pumping Iron and stuff. And then they told me, they're like, but the guy who's beating everybody now, he's a black guy. His name is Lee Haney. And then I started seeing him on the magazines and stuff. And everybody just told me like his back, like as a kid, before I even knew what bodybuilding was, I just knew that Lee Haney had the best back. And then I saw him and I was like, oh yeah, I get it.
yeah.
It's all clear.
Oh man.
Yeah, I remember all the magazines, like they'd have all the, exercise demos and stuff.
Yeah.
And they'd always have like Lee Haney in the back articles. It'd always be all these lat spread pictures of Lee,
Yeah.
you know?
Did you guys ever have that kind of belt? Like the Velcro?
No.
I had a Vallejo for a short period of time. I don't
This
remember
is-
what happened to it, but it was very short lived.
634-2704. I wonder.
That one might actually exist because they're still
That
a
one
company.
might still ring true.
Yeah, they might still. I want to try the other one again. I'll try one more time. Let's see. We'll see.
Cybergenics.
Yeah. No, somebody else. They're busy. They're busy.
Everyone wants
They're
a
busy.
Vallejo right now.
You got to call Vallejo. Call Vallejo.
I didn't rate Filet down, did I? No, I didn't.
Oh,
Yeah.
that one might still go through.
All right. All right.
There we go.
This is good though. This is good. See if I can.
I love
get
the
us
evening
back
wear.
to- Yeah. This is fun, man. I don't know if people are going to connect to this one the same way they connected to the last one because
I did.
like everybody loved the Kevin one, and everybody
Yeah.
loves Ronnie. So we'll see. We
Yeah.
went a little bit further back in history with this one.
Well, I tagged Kevin and then he messaged me So then he said, thanks, man. I really appreciate it. Who are your friends in the video with you?
Right.
And I was like, oh, it's Dusty and Scott. And he's like, okay, I'm going to reach out to them too. And then you said that he messaged you.
So yeah.
Kevin was like, hey, man, that was cool. Thanks for doing that. That was awesome.
It's a classy move too, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That he sent us a message. That's so awesome.
So maybe bug him, get Kevin to come on the show. That'd be awesome.
Exactly.
You guys bug him for us, because I already sent him a message. But maybe if enough listeners send him a message, then he'll feel obliged.
Yeah. Maybe we can pull up a different like 90s video and watch it with Kevin.
Oh, that would be amazing.
That would be wild. Yeah.
He's got stories about the guy. He's like, yeah, it's one time, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, everyone. Thanks again. Remember, we sort of start these on the fly with their like our little these bonus watch party things. So they're not normal episodes, but remember, you still got to like, share, subscribe, comment, and
ring that bell.
Ring the bell.
Check out our Wednesday episodes for anybody who's just finding this on YouTube. Check out, we do a podcast every Wednesday, so tune into that and all of our other podcasts that come out through the week.
Yeah, you bet. Thanks, everyone. And remember, IamMutant.com. Get your ISO surge. Get your all in. Everyone's got to get on the gear.
Madness.
And remember, Dusty 20, Big Ron 20. Get yourself 20% off on all mutant supplements. IamMutant.com. Thanks. Remember, it's just bodybuilding.